Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are talking about Sofi Technologies' SOFI stock to determine where the stock price could be headed in the future based off of new news and updates, particularly regarding their earnings report. And if you're watching this video after their earnings report, you can determine if these predictions were right among Sofi's management, Wall Street investors, as well as various financial reporters. And if you are watching this video before the earnings report, you can determine if these projections are positive enough or negative enough for you to trade off of the volatility that this could cause in the stock price. We're also going to be going over new news or speculation regarding on how Sofi Technologies will be releasing a new product, which is going to help to boost their overall revenues. So for more videos like this one, remember to go and smash that like button right now, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe if you are new, and without further ado, let's just jump right into today's stories. So after Sofi Technologies management released their Q1 2022 report, management expects a continuation of strong growth in the second quarter, with expected adjusted net revenue of $330 million to $340 million, up to 39% to 43% year over year, and expected adjusted EBITDA of $5 million to $15 million, end quote. They also changed their full year 2022 adjusted net revenue guidance to $1.505 billion to $1.510 billion for the full year, and their EBITDA, or earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization, between $100 million and $105 million. So overall, this was pretty positive. However, recently, as of late, the projections have changed from both Wall Street as well as financial reporters. For instance, this financial reporter said that Sofi Technologies is still growing very rapidly right now, where they could release top-of-the-line revenue between $340 to $360 million. Likewise, they're anticipated to bring in a loss on their earnings per share, or EPS, of around 11 to 12 cents. But both of these would represent growth rates anywhere between 39% to 55%, and that would meet our 30% CAGR for their revenues, which makes this company extremely innovative, and it shows us that they are rapidly expanding. Now let's get into the real news. So now that we've looked over the Sofi Technologies Q2 preview that they are going to bring in for their projections regarding their revenues and EPS, let's look at some of the concerns, the latest news updates, and some possible new product offerings and product launches that the company could give us. If you didn't know, Sofi Technologies is a fintech company, and they basically operate as a digital bank, and they give their customers an all-in-one inclusive digital app that offers them anything they could probably need in terms of financial services and or financial products. Right now, the Sofi stock price is trading for around $6.32. However, investors as well as analysts think that the company should be worth, on a per share basis, between $7 and $11. So technically, on a price prediction basis, the company is undervalued right now. So let's dive in to see what this article is actually trying to communicate to us. The main thing I want to highlight in this article are the key performance indicators, or KPIs, and that's what we're really going to be looking at and focusing on. We're going to really look into how Sofi Technologies is going to beat their revenue forecasts, their EBITDA, and how possibly their management could raise their guidance for future quarters, which would be very positive. And then to conclude, we're going to talk about a new product announcement that Sofi Technologies could actually reveal during their earnings report. Now, going over to a more positive development is that the cost to acquire new members is actually pretty low for a financial service, and these new members are actually going to pay for themselves once they acquire these new members. So first, we're going to look at our first performance indicator, and that is going to be their member growth. So if you remember back in Q1 of 2022, Sofi Technologies added around 408,000 new customers, to where now they have a total of 3.87 million customers. Now, I personally, as well as the author of this article, don't know if they are going to meet that expectation, but we will be going over the bearish, neutral, and bullish expectations for their member growth, particularly revolving around their Q2 2022 report. So the current trends come in anywhere between Sofi Technologies adding 350,000 new customers to 400,000 new customers, and we're going to talk more about that later in the video, but that's just going to give you a quick snapshot. But the good news is that they are still increasing their total member count, and Sofi is going to take advantage of this by cross-selling to those new members, thus increasing overall revenues and putting them on a growth trajectory toward profitability, because remember, this company is set to become profitable at the end of 2024 based on current metrics. Now, there is a slight chance where they could actually have a member growth rate surprise, which would be very bullish, and this is going to be due to the APY that they are offering on their checking and savings accounts. For instance, if you sign up with SoFi Technologies and you open a checking and a savings account and you store your money in there, they're going to give you a 1.5% APY return just by holding your cash in their account. So they're going to be paying you 1.5% on your money to just hold money in a SoFi account, which is absolutely phenomenal, especially if you can compare that to what other banks are offering, which range anywhere between 0.2 to around 0.8%. So SoFi Technologies is clearly a market leader as of right now in that particular regard. By offering customers a higher APY on their money that customers are storing in SoFi's checking or savings accounts, it's going to be a key driver for new member growth, and that's why some financial reporters actually think that SoFi Technologies could bring in better than expected membership growth. At minimum, we want SoFi Technologies to bring in around 350,000 new members, but anything below that would be an absolute disappointment, and it would very negatively impact the SOFI stock price. Likewise, if they brought in around 400,000, that would meet expectation, but still not be ideal because it's not going to beat what they brought in last quarter. And in the best case scenario, they bring in 450,000 new members, which would be absolutely fantastic. However, this would be extremely surprising and probably not what the company is going to bring in for this particular quarter. Now, once SoFi Technologies obtains these new customers, the next phase comes in where once SoFi obtains these members, now they get to cross-sell to these members, which means that they get to sell them other products. For instance, if a customer just comes and they want to open a checking or savings account to take advantage of that APY return of SoFi Technologies literally paying people a 1.5% interest rate just to hold their money in a checking account, SoFi Technologies will then use that relationship to sell them on something else, such as a personal loan. I also want to say that the customer acquisition cost is literally right on point, and what this means is that SoFi Technology is spending money to acquire new customers, but they are making their money back. For instance, the CFO, which is the Chief Financial Officer, and the CEO, which is the Chief Executive Officer, both are very comfortable where the current CAC is at, or the customer acquisition cost, which is currently less or around $350 per new member. And to me, that's low enough to where SoFi Technologies has a pretty good margin to make money off of their members while also benefiting these members. Now, I do want to keep in mind that if this ever goes above $400 per member, then SoFi Technologies would actually start to become very bearish, and I would say that they really need to start honing back on their marketing and different offerings that they are giving customers. So all of these reasons all together is why this financial reporter anticipates and has an expectation for SoFi Technologies to actually beat on their revenues and their EBITDA. And I personally would love that to happen. However, I am very skeptical right now just because of the current stock market environment we are in. I think it would be very odd for interest rates to be increasing and then SoFi and other fintech companies experience an increase in their overall loans and the amount of customers that are signing up with them. I really just don't see that happening. However, I definitely could be wrong. Another main point I want to talk about for SoFi Technologies is their book value, and they have an extremely solid book value in my opinion. The reason why we bring up their PB ratio is because every time it's dipped under 1 significantly, the stock has resulted in around a 20+% return within just a couple weeks. So if that happens again, we could anticipate a rise in the overall stock price. So as long as SoFi Technologies continues to grow their overall member base, continues to cross-sell, and has promotions to acquire these new customers in which they can cross-sell even more, and then we as investors wait for Technisys and Galileo to start paying for themselves and lowering overall expenses, this company is absolutely set. And then lastly, I do want to say that the company again is very, very safe in terms of a recession, especially compared to other fintech companies. Now, like I said in the beginning, we're going to wrap up with new products. What could we see SoFi Technologies release as a new product? And before I go into it, remember that this is highly speculative, and right now this is just hearsay. So you could have heard that SoFi Technologies recently launched their CDs, or certificates of deposits, which is really positive. However, the new product launch, according to this article, could include new Galileo products, SoFi Plus, pay in 4, and options trading for SoFi Technologies. And we already know that options trading is coming to SoFi Technologies because of a previous video I did, but we are very excited for these new products to roll out, which could end up boosting SoFi's overall stock price. The CFO, or Chief Financial Officer of SoFi Technologies, even said that they anticipate to start rolling out new products and features throughout 2022. And 2022 is already halfway over, and right now we haven't heard many updates regarding these new products. However, we can anticipate that they are coming, which is absolutely phenomenal. Also, if you don't know what SoFi Plus is, SoFi Plus basically is like a subscription service where members will get a host of benefits in regards to taking out loans, investing, and various rewards. And potentially it could even cut fees. Pay in 4, if you didn't know what that is, it means SoFi Technologies is going to be getting into the buy now, pay later space, which is why actually I made a video a while ago on Apple, on how Apple is entering the buy now, pay later space, which is going to put them into direct competition with SoFi Technologies. And then lastly, options trading is going to be for their investments, where you can bet on stocks whether or not they're going to increase with a call option or decrease with a put option. So for more videos like this one, remember to go and smash that like button right now, comment your thoughts down below. I'm looking forward to SoFi Technologies' upcoming earnings report, and if you want more videos like this one, don't forget to smash the like button, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next YT video.